All right. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into my channel. Today, we have kind of the second edition of the pre-med panel that I did this time last year. I'm super excited about all the folks that we have here. They're all amazing, wonderful students, great people, and I'm really excited for y'all to meet them. So they're going to start off by first introducing themselves. We'll have Jada start first.
Hey, everyone. My name's Jada. I am currently a junior at the University of Central Florida, majoring in health sciences on their preclinical track with a biomedical minor. Yeah, that's it.
So,
I'm Sydney Polk. I go to Xavier University in New Orleans. I am a chemistry pre-med major with a biology minor.
I'll go. Okay, so I'm Rohan, rising junior, University of Pennsylvania, studying bioengineering. I'm also pre-med. So.
Down in Atlanta, I am a human health major, nutrition science minor on the pre-med track as well.
Awesome. So the first thing that we're going to kind of talk about today is actually about school selection. I know that a lot of people have a lot of questions about kind of what school to go to and why they should pick the certain school. So for each of you, what factors ultimately resulted in you choosing your particular university?
Before I go into more details about the school, I just want to say that I am a transfer student from Baylor University, and I went to UCF in the spring of 2019. But basically what made me choose Baylor was of its school, its small school setting, so that created a more tight-knit community going on there. Also, they were ranked pretty high nationally for their biology program, so that's something that I was also looking forward to. And if you don't know, Baylor University is a highly Christian university, so going there was another place for me to increase upon my faith and meet new friends from different backgrounds spiritually as well.
So what made me choose Xavier? Xavier is a private and Catholic institution. For me, once I had visited the campus, I immediately fell in love and knew I had to be there because I ended up going to an all-girl private school for 14 years, and I really wanted to be around people that looked like me and had the same goals and aspirations I did, and we're all going in the same direction because Xavier is #1 for putting out African-American doctors, and that's exactly what I want to do. And so I don't know, for me, I just know being in the environment, granted, it's New Orleans, so, you have, your distractions and everything, but I just knew Xavier is where I had to be.
Awesome. Kyle, do you want to go next?
Emory University, Xavier, Louisiana, Miami, and University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. And for me, I didn't want to stay in state and lucrative package and all that, but I had to visit Emory, and honestly, I fell in love with its kind of whole biomedical advances. It had a brand new chemistry building. Even though chemistry is not my strong suit, it still sold me. Honestly, when I visited Emory, they're upperclassmen there. They saw that I was there because they were on spring break. They saw that I was there though, and they still hit me through Instagram and group me, and they found me somehow. So it felt like home, and honestly, the Black Emory community welcomed me.
Rohan?
I mean, we were up at Penn for a year, 2 years. So, I enjoyed that time. I was also looking for a good engineering school that also had a good med school. And Penn was up there with Stanford and Hopkins. But I just enjoyed Penn a lot more just because of the time we spent there for a whole summer, 2 summers. So
Awesome. All right. So now we're going to get kind of to the serious stuff. Obviously, you go in as a freshman with a desired major, with something that you think you're going to study throughout your time at that school. For those of you that have changed your majors, can you tell us what you changed from or what you changed to, and then also why you changed?
I think I'm the only one that probably did that. So upon transferring to UCF, they had a more specific biology program that had biomedical and health sciences. I started off at UCF as a biomedical major. However, it required a lot of restricted electives and restricted classes to where you can only take at the UCF campus. And even though that would have been nice and all, I'm a creative person that likes to take opportunities elsewhere, visit different campuses, sort of expand my horizons that way. So they also offered another program called Health Sciences Preclinical, which offers pretty much the exact same courses as a biomedical major. However, with this one, there's less restrictions, and you sort of have more freedom to visit sister campuses and take classes up there. Also, there's been a lot of success in the health sciences program for minority students like myself. So I figured I'd take advantage of that, and honestly, it was pretty much the best thing I've ever done since being at UCF.
Did anybody else change their major?
Yes, because, you know, you all have those moments where you're like, like, I don't know. And, you know, I don't want to speak on everybody. For me personally, I've definitely had those moments where I was like, I don't know if this is for me. And like, can I make it out? And, you know, I have definitely like considered, because I'm gonna let you know now, I had Orgo this year, and we'll probably get into this later. I failed it first semester, and I took it again this semester. I made a B though, so but no, like definitely that last semester, I was like, I don't know if this is for me, and so I was considering again transferring schools and gonna become a nursing major. But I'm still here, so we made it out.
Awesome. Did anybody else change their major? I know Kyle said something, but I didn't hear him.
Is that changing, like the major though?
Well, I didn't hear like the first part of what you said.
Minor, is that changing anything?
You're kind of adding, you know.
Well, I want to make sure I didn't leave your panel unfulfilled.
Well, what I can say, although I am the moderator today, I can say that I have changed my majors quite a few times at this particular point in time, just because Faith wasn't sure what she wanted to do. I came in as a bio major. I then switched to a communications major because I really enjoyed those classes and I did really well in them. And then this past semester, I took my first intro to neuroscience class, and I don't want to do anything else. So I'm currently a neuroscience major, and I really, really enjoy it. And I think that like the narrative associated with going to medical school or doing something in the health fields is that you have to be one thing. You have to be a bio major. You have to be a chem major, although being a chem major is great. Don't get me wrong. You don't necessarily have to do those basic science majors. You can be a communications major and still go off to medical school. You know, you can do all those things and still end up at your end goal. So that's like, I think like a main takeaway. Like even if you do change a major or even if you haven't, you don't have to follow one specific path, one specific mold to get to where you want to go. All right, move on to our next point here. So for those of you that are involved in Greek life, can you tell me a little bit about how it's been, especially with such a rigorous course load? Are there things that you wish you would have done differently in going about your process of pledging and things of that nature? So both of you just kind of have the floor right now.
You want to start, my icy cold brother?
Yo, Sydney.
Right, let me tell. Again, do I have to reintroduce myself? Anyway, I'm Sydney. I am a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I'm a member of the Epsilon Tau chapter at Xavier University. Okay, so the process. Also, we don't pledge because Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated is a non-hazing organization. But as for my process, it was definitely worth it. It was worth it. I wouldn't change it for anything. And going into it, I'm gonna be honest with you. I knew this is what I wanted to do for a long time. So when I first got to college, I made sure that like I had the grades that I felt like I needed for the organization I wanted to be a part of. And so I made sure I got my grades up. Again, I had a 3.8 first semester and then a 3.5 by the end of my first year. And so because also I knew that because the process was going to be what it was, there was a slight chance my grades would not be the greatest. And so I kind of provided myself with that cushion for when the process was going on. And I can let you know now, my grades were not the greatest at the end of the semester. I ended up Pro 19. I'm sorry. No, but I knew that there was a chance, you know, my grades would, you know, tank a little bit. So again, I can openly admit, you know, the end of that semester, I had a 2.92. But again, I'm back up to a 3.2 now. So, I mean, you can come back from it, but definitely allow yourself, again, that cushion, because more than likely, again, with everything you're going to go through, going through the process, it's gonna take a little toll.
So looking back at that process, and looking back at like what it was, do you think that there was anything that you could have done differently, just to that maybe what would have helped you a little bit more that semester that you were doing all of that work?
I mean, there is definitely something, because granted, even all of my line sisters, again, not everybody's grades like that. I mean, I had line sisters, again, that made dean's lists and they were doing great. And again, I'm proud of them, loved them, bits and pieces, loved my line sisters, all 35 of y'all. But for me personally, I think it was also just what I was doing last semester. I just unintentionally ended up doing the most because I was just really involved in everything, because I was accepted into our Society of Leadership and Success. And so I was doing that. And then I was trying to cross. And then I just didn't really enjoy the courses I was taking at the time, because it was just a lot going on. And so I'm just trying to juggle all of these balls, trying to keep them all in the air. So, I mean, if I really had to change anything, I guess it would just be like my course load and everything, or just trying to, because, you know, again, we pick our courses every year. So I guess just trying to, I guess, fit a better selection for what I was trying to do at the time, or, you know, push my National Society for Leadership and Success either to this semester or everything. Because I just unintentionally end up doing a lot, which again caused me to suffer and everything. But
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Kyle, what do you have any? I mean, I don't want to say advice, but like just like generally, like tell us what your experiences were with your course load, and also.
Oh, yeah, I already introduced myself, but I am a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the Mu Alpha chapter seated at Emory University, and I am a Spring 20 initiate of a line of 4 quad tail. It's held back there, and so my experience doing my process while taking all my rigorous courses for pre-med. First of all, I did this process now in my sophomore year. I tried to do it in my freshman year, but I didn't have the grade point average. So like Sydney mentioned, you have to build yourself a cushion, because line is going to take down on your grades already. So throughout the process, I kind of was just trying to stay above water a lot during classes, but it is manageable. You have to manage your time and prioritize things, because sometimes your process is going to have to come first, and sometimes your classes are going to have to come first. And at the end of the day, I honestly couldn't say how it feels to be on the yard and be pre-med and like have to take these courses, because as soon as I crossed, Corona pretty much hit full force, and I had to leave Atlanta and get back home to Chicago. So I will say, like, being home and being Greek and staying in class, it still was a big deal, because once you cross, there's trainings you have to do. You have to re-elect new officers for the chapter, because seniors are coming out and neos are coming in. You have to have chapter meetings to start planning for programs, especially because my chapter, we're not in a rebuilding year, but we just got our house back. So we're trying to make sure we have adequate programs for our chapter. And my school is very quick to snatch our house because PWI. So it was definitely like a big deal for me to be able to balance Zoom call with my chapter, Zoom call with class every day. But it honestly came out for the best. I actually had my best semester this semester, which is like online, but I would definitely blame that on being Zoom University. On campus, that would have been the same case. Yeah, so it's, as far as I know, it's possible, and you know, I have more experience with that upcoming, you know, hopefully, but being Greek and being pre-med is definitely possible. Don't let anybody deter you from it, but it's a job like anything else, and you know, if you're not gonna put in the work, don't chase it.
That's right. But what advice do you think that you would give to someone who might be in your position this time next year?
Definitely, if you are interested in Greek life, definitely do your research and find out. Again, don't just, you know, jump at the chance, because being a part of an organization, it's definitely more than just the colors. It's more than just the strolling or, you know, this and the third. Because again, you are making at least for AK, you're making a lifelong commitment to sisterhood and service. And so, and again, that's, again, being financial every year, going to conferences, Boule that we have every 2 years. But I'm saying, like, it's an investment, and you are going to have great networking opportunities, and you're going to have again, lifetime of sisterhood and, again, service. And so definitely do your research, see which organizations align with yours, with their mission statement and everything. I don't know. And then again, provide yourself that cushion with grades, because again, it's very serious and it does take a toll. But I mean, it's doable. Kyle and I both did it, and you can do it too.
For me, I pretty much, Sydney honestly pretty much summed it all up. Like, your research is of utmost importance, because for me, I'm now a member of this organization. So you have to research things from what my organization is for to how to approach someone in this organization when you want to ask questions, because you cannot approach me in the middle of an event like that my chapter is hosting, that my fraternity is putting on, and say, I'm interested in this, can I ask you this? Because you're supposed to be discreet about it.
Discretion is everything.
Like, that's honestly the key to success. And most importantly, make sure that you're excelling in your classes. Like make sure that you have that cushion first, of course, but your what you do on campus is important. Like, if you're not involved in anything, then there's really not a chance that you're gonna make like the opportunity to get into the membership development process. So be doing things on campus, do service, take offices. And if you're not taking offices, make sure you're involved in a lot of things, but don't be fake with it. That's a big thing with me. Like, we can read through that, honestly, because I was on campus for a short time with letters, but like, I saw people's behavior changing, them automatically trying to like get more involved in stuff so I could see them. Be honest, be sincere with what you're trying to do. And, maybe we'll consider you. Nothing is guaranteed. AKA don't need nobody. A5A don't need nobody. They don't even need me or Sydney. So you're joining something so much bigger than yourself. These conventions, the connections, it's bigger than that. You're representing something that's so much bigger, that represents leadership and power in the Black community. So if you're not coming with energy for that, then honestly, leave it alone. Or join another organization, but I'm not.
Because everybody's always watching. So again, everything you post on social media, everything you do on campus, again, it all gets back to us, basically, because again, we see everything. Again, our line sisters, our pro fights are going to tell us stuff. Again, like, we constantly see y'all, watch y'all. I say y'all, but I mean, like, again, we notice it. So again, if it's a sudden, switch up to where, okay, if, you're walking to class wearing, short shorts and, your stuff's all out again, but then suddenly, you switch up, you're trying to dress like, you in your Sunday best. Again, we see that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. That's actually a solid point. Be you, like be you, because if you get through this process, you have the opportunity to join one of these prestigious organizations, any of the D9, honestly. Be the same person you were coming out, because the letters, like, while people might notice you or anything, they're not gonna change who you are. Like the people who you like, they're gonna flock to you sometimes, but like, if you was a lame before the letters, you're gonna be a lame after the letters. Like you have a standard to uphold, the way you should present yourself out in public, but don't sit here and think you're Mr. Mrs. Popular top dog just because you have on letters and you can stroll. Like, your personality is what made you applicable for this fraternity. This fraternity does not make or sorority does not make your personality. It's not a character trait.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you guys. This is really enlightening, actually. I'm sure that someone's definitely going to get this and be enlightened by this. So my next question is for everybody, but I really want to hear from Jada and Rohan on this. So can you guys tell me a little bit about some of the leadership positions that you've had at your university? If you've had them, what are they, and how did you originally get involved in the actual organization? And along with that, of course, because this is a pre-med, pre-health panel, has it been difficult for you to manage both your workload and those positions and the things that you've been doing?
I mean, you can start. You can go ahead.
Okay. So like I said, I transferred over to UCF, and pretty much by the beginning of fall, I was introduced to a organization called MASS, and MASS stands for Multicultural Academic Student Services. Basically, we act as a volunteer group and sort of that connection between transfer students, multicultural students alike, and we sort of help them get acquainted with the campus, seeing as UCF is known to be the second largest campus in the nation with almost 70,000 students. We are that friendly face for others to come meet. So that was really interesting as well. I have a lot of great memories with that organization. Great friends were made there. I actually knew about it by attending a conference with them on how to be a successful minority in the pre-med and engineering field, and also other fields such as communications. So that really stuck out. We got to meet with USF's Committee for Admissions, and all of that great connections were there. I'm also recently elected as the recruitment director for the transfer night services on campus. So I'm going to be working alongside with the group that we have now, the president and VP, in creating programs for transfer nights so that when they come in the fall of 2020, we have really great programs for them to start up with, tutoring and all of that greatness. Also, I'm a general chemistry tutor for our supplemental instruction team. So being able to work in that environment and help students, primarily in the nursing major, has been a very humbling experience for myself. It sort of makes you realize that, you know, when you get on a college campus, you're not dealing with everyone who looks like you, acts like you, or even is the same age as you. A lot of the times in the nursing classes that I tutored for, these were parents with kids, and sometimes they would bring their kids to my tutoring sessions because they have nowhere else to drop them off. And, you know, you just have to power through it because at the end of the day, they're trying to get that education that, to be honest, some people are really out here fighting and dying for. So that was a very humbling experience. And I was also the health chair for the NAACP, and basically that position required me to sit down with minority students on UCF's campus and provide them with health information, as well as health history in the Black community that were heavily occurring back in like the 1960s, 70s, and so forth. So that was my little spiel on campus leadership there.
So basically, like, how I got into what I did was it was just a lot about like researching before you even get to your campus on like what you find interesting. So I like came in like still an engineering major, so I want to do like get as much exposure to like the pre-med sort of things. So you know that we have like an engineers and medicine group. And another big thing that takes up a lot of my time is just like a research job at the children's hospital. So that takes a lot of time. And then I've like TA'd for a few classes. And then yeah, a lot of my clubs are engineering oriented because I know I found that more interesting.
Mhm.
Like basically going to college, I was just like, okay, I don't really want to be a biology major because or like chemistry major. Yeah, no shade, but it
Shade.
was basically
Okay.
it was basically just like if I don't do like pre-med, like I want to have like a backup or something that I feel like comfortable, like I can do something with. So like a bioengineering degree, I'm just like, now I know at least I can enter like industry or like consulting like everybody does. Like a thing that you'll see, I know Jada's a UCF, that's like a huge campus, but like Penn, like relatively small. Also like the people you see on campus, you have like the really like cutthroat people who are like super super pre-med and like the super super business people. So it's like you basically trying to find like where you fit, and like you're not gonna go to like college and out of nowhere be this like cutthroat person. Like you either are or you aren't, sort of. Like you're not gonna be like Kyle was saying, like you're not that much of a different person, like whether you are in an organization or you're not. It's like the same thing like when you're trying to find a club, right? So like I don't know where you're not gonna be just like cutthroat, like yeah, I'll stab Faith in the back just so I can get like one step ahead. Like you're not gonna be that person. So it's just like just find out like who you are, and like if you do that quickly, then you'll find like organizations that you're like passionate about. So
Awesome. Really great advice. Didn't need the backstabbing, but all right. Who would like to share next?
All right. All right. So leadership. Kind of what Rohan said before I got to school. I did the same thing. I was kind of just researching the clubs they have, and I also wanted to research like how can you make your own club? Like how hard is that process? It's not too hard. You just got to get an advisor, a certain amount of people and stuff. And so when I got on campus, I joined the Black Men's Initiative because it's a big deal that they have that. at Emory, they give us like a floor to live on as freshmen and stuff like that. And it's kind of how you get connected with a lot of Black men on campus. So this past year, I was the sophomore advisor for that organization. And that's basically just like, I worked under the RA on the floor. So I lived with the freshmen and stuff like that and advised them whenever they needed it. Also did some like programming for that, and I'm doing programming now. And for the Black Student Alliance, I am the internal vice president. I'm the internal vice president right now. So that's those are my major positions. Other than that, I'm involved in like the Minority Pre-Med Society, NAACP, and my organization takes up a lot of like that time and kind of helps me cross everything on campus. So it's pretty much what I do.
Awesome. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. I will again openly admit I haven't gotten the chance to really not get involved, but like have leadership positions on campus, because I'm more involved again in my organization. So I am a part of the technology committee for. Ooh, that was not English. Okay. Part of the technology committee. So again, we will make flyers, send out notifications about upcoming events that we're having and hosting on campus. Then I'm a part of the arts committee. So again, we're coming up with events for the fall and just trying to get our event calendar planned for the next upcoming year. So again, more of my involvement has been through more my organization. But again, I was actually looking into joining our MAX organization, which for us was involvement with some of these schools around campus and just being a tutor for those middle school students. But then, Rona happened and here we are. But no, so basically what I do is, so mainly through my organization, I'm involved. And then again, I'm still doing the tutoring like I was last year, and I'm tutoring the middle school girl that I have.
Awesome. Y'all are so involved. Good for y'all. Good for y'all. But with that being said, because you guys are so involved, how are you able to manage it with like course load and rigor and the things that you're kind of expected to do as a pre-med?
I think the way that I manage it all is definitely like, don't think about how much you have to do it every second. And also, the major thing is like when you're joining things and putting them on top of classes, don't join them for the sake of, I need to put this on my resume so that people will notice me. Join those things because you love them. Because honestly, when you love something, it makes it so much easier to do it. Like it makes it so much easier to push through every obstacle, test, all that to get it done. So that's honestly what gets me through stuff. I join things that I love and like took on causes that I'm passionate about, care about giving to other people. So once I make sure that I'm squared away with school, it's like, all right, now what time do I have to get to this organization? And sometimes it goes the vice versa way, because it's like, I'm a part of this organization, I have a responsibility. I made a commitment. And sometimes, I got to study later to get this done for this org. So balancing it is a task, but it's doable. Like, you just have to prioritize, make sure you stay well balanced on your schedules, your Google calendars, Outlook calendars, all that. Follow it, set it out for yourself, and actually follow it. Like, that's what's going to help you survive these next 4, 10, 12, all those years.
My bad. Girl, you got that, go ahead. Basically what I do is I tend to build my schedule because I know myself as a person that, like, again, if I'm overwhelmed with school and on top of all this other stuff, I'm the person that tends to blow it up as the bigger picture, and I just see all this stuff I have to do and it stresses me out, and then I crumble and life is horrible. So then what I try to do is, again, with my schedule, like I try to build in like breaks every day, to where, okay, granted, because that's also what happened first semester. Again, it got to the point where, again, I could only eat like twice a week because, again, I had straight back-to-back classes, again, going from like 10 to 5 like every day except for like Fridays and like Tuesday. So then, like, I try to build in breaks every day because I know that's something I need, to where again, I'm a advocate for naps. So again, like that's my downtime to where you're like, okay, you know, let me get this little 30-minute nap in between classes, you know, before I, you know, head to the library and study and everything. But so I try to do that, and then based on what my schedule is like, okay, then, you know, if I know I have this test coming up, okay, you know, instead of, you know, taking naps, okay, I'm like, okay, you know, if I can knock out this homework during, you know, my time between, you know, my morning class and, you know, my 1 o'clock class, then okay, you know, I just try to build that in, and that way, you know, it's not all, you know, on top of me at the end. And then, you know, with my organization, again, we constantly are, you know, in our group me involved trying to, you know, get this done, and like, okay, you know, this committee, okay, you know, we have this committee meeting, you know, coming up and everything. So I mean, it all just kind of works out around my schedule that I've set up for myself.
So going off of Sydney, honestly, like we're pretty alike in that regard, although, you know, she takes into consideration her naps. With me, if I have like a huge day of just like projects, tests to study for and everything like that, I will plant myself in the library and I will work straight through until I feel like I've like done enough work for me to say I can go home. And I don't normally get that feeling until it's about 2 o'clock in the morning and I got to take that shuttle by myself. But that's not good. Don't do that. So that was a struggle for me. I can only say that was a struggle for me both fall and spring of when I was a freshman, also into sophomore year. But really what helped me was sort of getting involved into the organizations, like how Kyle went off, and just, you know, doing it for the sake that you like doing it also can help you create that really positive network, right? And then having that positive network is people that's going to be rooting for you and also going to be the ones to remind you like, hey girl, you're doing a lot. You should probably go home and take it easy, right? So upon joining the multicultural organization and its office, I found myself, you know, putting my mental health and physical health first, which is obviously what you should do. Easier said than done for those who struggle with anxiety, but must be a priority if you want to be successful in your field as well as college. And honestly, I got my Apple Watch for Christmas. So I sort of been putting everything from a test to assignments in my phone calendar because we're always on our phones. And I just have it set for particular days. So that way, when I have my watch on every day, it says at 7 o'clock, you have a test due and stuff like that. And also with what I do, I'm very hands-on. So I like to create my schedules, or I'll just, if you use web courses and you have Canvas, then they have a calendar below. So I normally print out my calendar for the semester because that's pretty straightforward. It's not going to change really. And then now that I have that printed out, I just go through it and I just cross out all my assignments. That way the watch is also sending me notifications, but I also have a physical copy so I'm not missing anything. So those are just ways of how, you know, being in different organizations, creating the networks, as well as putting my mental and physical health first helped me to better juggle all these leadership roles and classes that we were taking.
I think a big thing that like Kyle said was right. Like once you start doing things and like you lose passion for them, then it becomes like school again, right? It feels like more work. So like for me, just like built into my class schedule, like whenever I have these like organization events, those are like my de-stress sort of things. Like I don't feel like it's like work, it's like fun for me. So that's basically like how I de-stress. Sometimes even going to work, like working in the lab, is like calm. You're just sitting there by yourself. You know, sometimes, you know, running a Western blot is all you need. So, but like I have some like weird things. Like Friday, I don't do any work. Like after classes, I don't do anything. I'm usually watching like, because there's always NBA on ESPN or something. I'm watching that. Sundays, I gotta watch football. So like small things like this here and there that you like decompress. That usually keeps you like, you can make your way through the week.
If y'all know, for the ones that were in Canada, your girl was out here shopping a lot. So
yes, she was. Yes, she was.
That was my getaway, was just to say, you know, I'm going to the mall, and the mall is like 10 minutes up the road from my apartment. So I will just be walking the mall for hours on end, and, you know, with my bags. And then, you know, I'd get home and I'd feel bad that I wasted $100 on probably 2 sets of candles, but them candles will then de-stress the room and open up the environment, and I'll be back to normal. So
Jada, they were Canadian dollars. It's all right. We ain't mad at you. We ain't mad at you.
Shout out to Bloor.
Oh no, bro, I'm talking about now.
Oh,
Jada.
This is not what we're
She
going
said
to
two
do.
candles.
It's not what we're going to do. We're going to say, good job, okay? Just
Where are you getting these candles from?
$50, $100.
Candles,
For
yeah.
two.
okay, Bath and
For some
Bath-
candles.
Bath and Body Works.
Listen, I had a
Does the
friend-
candles have money in them? Are they magic candles?
Do they give you superpowers?
Listen, stop.
Oh my gosh.
Hold up.
Do they
Hold
last
up.
forever?
I got
Do you do
friends who
anything
work
cool?
at Bath and Body Works, right?
And they still made
This
you
could
pay
be
$100.
terrible
Are
deals
they
to
diamond
get
encrusted?
candles.
No.
What is
listen.
going on?
Okay. So it's Christmas season, right? And me and my roommate, I just moved into a new apartment. You know, me and my roommate became super close, and we're like, let's decorate this house. So
With our two candles.
With candles, exactly.
like nice like cinnamon candles, vanilla candles, and like they had like they have like the candle holders that like flickers, right? Like the patterns at Bath and Body Works, and I bought them and I plugged them around the house and I fixed it up and we decorate, and it was you know what? My Christmas morning was beautiful, right? It was
Your
great.
Christmas morning was beautiful.
Not the morning, but the week before I left for
Yeah,
Christmas.
I'm about to say because you went home.
the,
No, I'm
the
done with
vibe.
All right.
I don't
Next
think that's
question.
your friend.
Next question.